All right. So remember there was those polls that Ed Boon did a few weeks ago? Well, he's responded to them, right? And whoever voted for this, you need to hand in your MK fan card and, you know, go play Skullgirls or something like that. Like, this is... You need to be flogged. Flogged. What the hell is wrong with you? Right? I swear to God, the current MK fandom, to a degree, some of them, are just lost, man. And this one really irks me the most, right? For starters, I don't want my ninjas looking like samurai, right? I don't want them looking like samurai, okay? They're supposed to be ninjas, right? And in the movie, outside of the beginning part, later on, they're just like got all this body armor and stuff. It's like, what are you doing, man? They're ninjas, right? If anyone knows anything about ninja lore, they didn't wear body armor and stuff in that degree because it was too clanky, too heavy. It would slow them down, especially if they had to do anything like long distance traveling. Oh. And the thing that bugs me the most is that, like, the movie was absolute disgrace. It was a shit show. It threw out everything that mattered to make MK. For what? It was just basically fan fiction. Now they're bringing out a sequel, which I haven't discussed yet. And the people like this crap. I'm sorry, but you cannot be an MK fan, right? And then go, oh yeah, MK 2021 movie is amazing. No, it wasn't amazing. If you care about the story, it wasn't amazing, right? Not to mention, oh god, look what they did to my boy Reiko. Gee is, they made him into a turnip. Right? Anyway, he goes, your opinions deserve a response because apparently it was over 200,000 votes. He says, somewhat surprised with Annihilation getting more skin love than Scorpion's Revenge. What were you thinking? We're thinking that we actually like MK feeling like MK. Right? I'm starting to think this dude is out of fucking touch, man. Right? And the next one I think kind of proves it. He says, also surprising, I would have guessed by now the OG arcade peeps might have aged out, but you're still the majority. I keep forgetting how loyal MK fans are. Yeah, no fucking shit, bro. Stop catering to children with your stupid ass gameplay and actually give us back the legacy that, you know, put you on the map. That we all helped paid to put you on the map. Right? That's why we fell in love with Mortal Kombat. I was playing some MK1 again last night, and it's just, you know, literally, I'm just sitting there, as soon as I get caught, I just put the controller down. Just wait 10, 12, 15 fucking seconds while I'm being thrown around the screen like some helium balloon. Right. He says, when did you first start playing MK? Well, of course, the large majority of us started in the arcade era. But it's not just the arcade era. You have to take into account the home era as well. So there were people that didn't play in the arcade, but we still got our home versions not that long after, so that way we could enjoy them at home. For those that didn't, you know, that were too young perhaps, that couldn't go to the arcade and play these games, but they were still growing up in that era of MK and playing them at home on like the Master System, the Mega Drive, the Super Nintendo, right? So the arcade era is not just, oh, you only played in the arcade. It's actually the home releases as well. Because the only time that we actually got a home release without an arcade release was the 3D era. That's the first time they ever did it. And that was back on the original Xbox and the PS2, right? So I'm glad to see that one winning. It says, Freddy and Kratos had the quick early lead until a certain influencer influenced the poll with a tweet. Yeah, of course they did. Because, you know, because people are stupid. I don't care for guest characters anyway. I just don't. Right? I never did. Okay? But I voted for MK9 simply because it's MK9. Right? I don't want fucking guest characters, Boon, in Mortal Kombat. Most people wouldn't give a shit. Most people If you said, right, that's it, we're focusing on purely MK characters, most people that are MK fans would be absolutely smitten through the roof with happiness and joy. Big boner, okay? This is all marketing bullshit, right? That takes me completely out of how the game actually is. And a lot of people feel that way. Again, going back to this shit right here with the arcade era, right? Well, the 3D era and the arcade era are very important, okay? Even though the 3D era I couldn't stand because it was fucking Tekken combat with blood, right? They're important because they felt like Mortal Kombat games. We didn't have guest characters either. Okay, then the people have spoken, not even close. If we were to have a Mortal Kombat Pro competition season 2, would you like to see us release costume shaders to support prize pools? I voted yes for that. I'm not voting for the dickhead only pros though. I'm just voting it because there are decent people who legitimately want to get a part of it. Who I suggest highly to stay away from those types of people, because those people are toxic and shit. Just forge your own path. Don't even engage with those types because they're just washed up, right? At the end of the day, it's all about the fighters. What was your favorite part of MK11 Aftermath? Well, the story sucks, and of course, there's it's always the new fighters, Mortal Kombat fighters. MK, Mortal Kombat, not guest, no G, right? Fighters. This one kind of breaks my heart. I understand the nostalgic love for Art Lean, but you people are leaning on him too much. Yeah, fuck off. This is bullshit, shill. This is bullshit, man. Right? Cola's defined powers never underestimated the power of memories when you were younger. Yeah, he's fucking toasted, man. Either he's literally toasted or he's just so out of touch. Right? So out of touch. This right here, this particular voting poll right here is the reason why we have two very distinct schools of thought in the MK community. Those of us that aren't stupid and those of us that are. Right? I'm sorry, you may not like it. Okay, but Cole Young was literally the most uninteresting character ever conceived in Mortal Kombat. Now you can pull up Annihilation, you can pull up Conquest and say it was a bit cheesy and corny or whatever, and I would still take every single character, right? Like, was it Cyrano? And what's her name? Taja, is it? From Conquest and Annihilation? I would say, and the Annihilation characters, I would take all of them over Cole Young any day. Cole Young is just stupid, right? You stuck him in there and made the excuse that we need someone the audience could identify with. So it worked, because a portion of the majority of the audience are stupid, so they identify with stupid, right? Art Lean was amazing. Art Lean, despite his very, very small amount of screen time, actually felt like we had this really cool character, a brand new character introduced into the MK lore through the movie. And his connection, his talking with Cage, even though it was a little bit, was really awesome. I thought that was great. He was very humble, a great fighter. I think he did alright against Goro for a bit there. But Cole Young, this is appealing to the stupid-ass MMA crowd, right? I'm telling you, this is why the MK community's fucked. Because this right here, this is an absolute polarization of where we're at. There is no recovery. We need a divorce, okay? I've got a long story to share someday regarding how Deception Conquest was made. It was a tough development effort. Amazing how this mode stood the test of time. Easily in our top 3 most requested bring it back modes. Yeah, and what do? You give us invasions. The fuck is wrong with you? Right. I wish this one turned out differently. I had a bit of a bet riding on this one and might end up with a pretty sore throat sometime in the future. In the past, we created alternate announcer voices in MK. Yeah, it's just a waste of development. Just fucking spend the money on something better, right? Dan Forden, all calls made in Toasty Voice. Ed Boon, all calls made in Scorpion Yelling Voice. And then Steve Ritchie, Classic MK1. I can't remember what I voted. It wasn't for Ed. It was for, I think, Dan or Steve. Maybe Steve. I don't know. There's nothing against Ed Boon with the voice. It's just like, personally, I don't give a shit about announcer voices. I know some people do. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. That's just stupid, right? But there are some, these polls are very polarizing, right? And this one I think really speaks to Ed Boon's just lack of connectivity to the true MK fans out there, right? The original arcade / original timeline, if you will, or 2D timeline from MK1 to MK4, again, like I stated, just to finalize, was not just the arcade era, it was the home era from those arcade games as well. And that went on for a really long time. We went all the way up to home versions of MK4 and then MK Gold before we then got Deadly Alliance, right? We are the majority, and we are massive, right? We absolutely are. And the thing is, though, that like, you know, like I said with a couple of these polls here, just really shows how out of touch he is. Thought we'd age out. What are you talking about? This is a weird, just to finalize further, it's an interesting point I see a lot of. People go, oh, you're too old to complain about this, you're too old to play these games, or too old to do this and do that. It's like, dipshit, who do you think's making these fucking games? Guys my age or older? Are you stupid? Seriously, right? Look up the definition in the dictionary. It's probably got your photo next to it. It's not 12-year-olds making this game, or 15-year-olds. They might have some 20-year-olds in there, but the large majority are gonna be middle-aged dudes, if not older, making these sorts of games. But the problem is, though, is that they go, oh, we need to cater to the young crowd. Now, you could do that with a new IP, but when you've got an established IP that's been around for 30 years, and you just ignore it flat out, and you make statements like this, it's out of touch. You're out of touch, right? That's why a lot of us are disappointed. We were disappointed with the 3D era. We were disappointed with the NRS era outside of MK9, because we know MK9 was being developed as a midway game until the buyout and the merger with Warner Brothers, right? That's why it feels so different. Even the dogs are upset about it, right? So, you know, it's just very telling of what they think, because they look at their esports pets, you know, and think that, oh my god, you know, this is who we need to cater to. Even those guys are getting all washed out and old now, right? This is why Tekken and Street Fighter is kicking ass, especially Street Fighter, because they are continuously building on the legacy of the game and making sure that their fans that put them there are still getting stuff that makes them still remain fans of their franchise. Oh, God. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.